Welcome back to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Christian Ramey. And back again for another week, clapping them ass cheeks, the best producer in the whole wide world, Mr. Ozark Mark. Mark, what's happening down there? You feeling spooky? You feeling all right?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I got phantoms flying out of my asshole. I'm so excited. That's right. It's October. You know this. I know this, unless you listen to this at a later time because you're late to the party. But it's okay. We are right in the middle. Literally right in the middle of the road to Halloween. This is exciting. Everybody's getting super excited. The weather is getting cold. Your nostrils are running. All right, you're getting ready. Everybody's getting costumes, and you're seeing all kinds of fun stuff. This is great. This is great. Now, last week, if you are up to date, we hit you with a banger. And I was wondering, I was like, what is Christian Ramey, the horror nerd himself, going to bring next? What can top the movie we did last week? And I think he picked a great one. Now, this is the first time I've seen this movie, if you were watching last week's episode, because I couldn't even get the hint, because I've never seen it. But we are talking about ginger snaps.
Ginger snaps. Yes, that's exactly how it should be said. Ginger snaps.
Ginger snaps.
Would you like to watch Ginger Snaps? I only will say it from that way, from here on out.
Yep, it's stuck in there and it ain't going away. It's like the booger that you put on your friend's couch. It's still there.
Even though there are werewolf movies, we don't get that many that often, and also with girls, even cooler. I thought that was a cooler aspect. The fact that you can have girls in there, there's nothing really more scary than a feral woman, okay? If you have a feral woman, everybody's been trapped there just wanting to give me a dick. You're like, oh my God, and that's scary, They could plot your murder, your wheels start turning, all right? You may be able to physically overpower, but you're in for some crazy shit, You don't know what's going to happen.
No.
So some feral-ass women, that's a scary premise. And werewolves on top of that. Bro, fellas, you should be scared.
Oh, yeah. Any male that watches this movie should be scared.
Oh, yeah. I'd fall into this trap easily, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Easily. And then, boom, there, I'm dead. You could at least just hope you could become a werewolf. You're like, all right, at least let me become a werewolf.
Dude, not in this way.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this is my first time seeing this movie, so this is a different portrayal of werewolves that I've never seen.
Yeah.
It's not your typical werewolf transformation stories here.
Nah.
This is more kind of realistic to me.
It's true.
Like, all right, you get bit by a werewolf, all right, and then you start slowly changing. You start growing hair in places you never have before. You start growing a tail that looks like a little wiener at first. And not to mention, I feel bad for this girl Ginger because, not only is she going through the transformation of a werewolf, which is obviously horrible. I don't think anybody wants to go through that. She also has to do it while she's going through her first rag experience, too. Oh, my God.
That's a lot, yeah.
Holy shit. That's fucked up.
We lucked out there, dog.
Oh, yeah.
We lucked out there.
I've had a man period before, but it's still not as intense.
Yeah. I don't want to deal with that.
No.
Just from the emotional response, because they could just be like, I think I'm about to start my period, so I'm just going to be an asshole. And you just be like, oh yeah, that's just nature. That's just an accepting thing. I'm hungry, and you have to feed me now, or I'm going to freak the fuck out. And you're just like, what the hell? I didn't do anything. I would have fed you. I would have not have objected to that if you would have just let me know earlier before you were in this state. And there's nothing you could do. You just got to throw a Chick-fil-A sandwich at him.
No, just throw them a Starbucks and chicken nuggets and just go away. put on some This Is Us or some Bachelorette or some stupid show.
Have you ever seen that fucking meme? It's really funny. It has like a golden retriever showing its teeth, and it says a girl when she's hungry, and then it says a girl after you feed her, and it's a golden retriever with like a birthday party hat drinking out of a cup with a straw, and it's like the cutest dog ever. And you're like, what the fuck? It's so true. And it's just like, yep, that's an acceptance. But it's, I don't know, I believe it though. It's not like we do have to accept it because I believe it. You know, I believe that when ladies have to go through their lady problems, some crazy shit happens. And that's really the fun parallel of this movie. It's a giant metaphor for coming of age of girls. Because growing up, especially you and I, we knew a bunch of girls that were just like this, you know what I mean? Outcast, you know what I mean? Outcast, a little bit different, goth girls, scene kids. That was right in our alley. That's just right where we were. We were on the same side of the tracks, if you will. So, I mean, we grew up with girls like this that just, you know, worship death. And now, before we really get too deep into the description of the movie, I would like to jump into a new segment that we have around here that can give you a better perspective of what was happening in the world when this movie came out. So, would you do the pleasure?
We about to fill them shoes. We about to fill them shoes. Yeah, I'm about to fill them shoes. We about to fill them shoes.
Yeah, all right. Now that our pants are back on, we can get into this new segment. We could get into this new segment called Fill Them Shoes. And
Dem shoes.
yeah, damn shoes.
Spelled with a D-E-M.
Fill them shoes. Now, this movie was released. Now, I have different dates that I'm reading here. Obviously, it was released in a film festival in August of 2000, but theatrical release is the 11th in Canada, but it was May 4th in the United States. So I'm just, you know, we're going to think about what's happening.
I don't know, just pick one, it don't matter.
Yeah, we will. You know, and I went with the May 11th. You know, it made more sense to me because it's a Canadian movie. So, you know, I'm going to give it its release. You know, that was its home release.
Sure.
All right. You want to take a stab of what the #1 song was on May 11th in 2001?
In the United States or Canada?
In the United States.
In 2001.
May 11th.
I thought this movie came out in 2000.
Nah, August of 2000 is when it was released at that festival,
Oh,
but
okay.
it wasn't.
Yeah, that probably would have helped
was
if
the
I was paying attention to what you were saying.
Nah, you're cool. It's confusing. Sometimes that shit happens to me. I'll be like, wait, when the fuck did this movie come out?
All right. Is it a pop song, rock song, or hip hop song?
So I'm going to give you it. It's not a song you're expecting for 2001. It's a pop song. The most iconic pop star of all time. The king of pop, okay? It's one of his siblings. I'll give you that. Okay? Now,
It's Janet Jackson.
okay. All right. Cooking with fire.
Fuck, what are some Janet Jackson songs?
I don't even know if I know this song.
Probably not. If you don't know it, I definitely don't know
The
it.
song's called All For You.
Yeah, I don't know that song.
But that was the song.
Okay.
All right, but on May 11th, 2001, you want to take a stab of what the #1 movie is, and I think it was the same for the May 4th as well. So, yes, it was. So, it's the same here.
What genre of movie is it?
So, I would really say this is almost like an action with a tad dash of cool spookiness. These movies were really fucking cool. And eventually they had The Rock.
Underworld?
No.
Oh, they eventually had The Rock?
Yeah.
This is a Fast and Furious movie.
No.
No, you said spookiness.
Yeah, there was a tad bit of spookiness. Brendan Fraser. The Mummy Returns.
Oh, The Mummy.
Yeah, The Mummy Returns.
Those are classic movies.
They're really good,
They
dude.
really are.
I fucking love those movies.
I love The Mummy. Every time it's on TV during the holiday, they always come up on the holidays. They play the Mummy movies.
And there's parts that are corny and cheesy, and you remember The Rock eventually came along for the Scorpion King, like he did that one, so it was kind of like a... But yeah, that was pretty good. The second movie was Kingdom Come. I don't know what the fuck that is. The third movie was Josie and the Pussycats. I vaguely remember that. The fourth one was The Mexican. That one was good.
Wasn't that with Brad Pitt or something?
And Julie Roberts, and it also had, rest in peace, James Gandolfini, Tony Soprano.
All right.
Yeah, so that's what was happening there. Now, as far as the world, nothing too spicy was happening. Now, For all my history majors out there, it's May of 2001, so something spicy was coming around the corner. These folks weren't ready, okay? They were just enjoying werewolf movies. I looked up news stories on May 11, 2001, and one said, Diddy is selling his pad but has to refinance because it's not going for the price he wants. Folks, this was a pre-9/11 world. Like, you'd find news articles with dogs on skateboards and shit. Like, they did try to start your day. It got bad news bears after that. But this was right before then. But the world did receive tragedy in early 2001. In February of 2001, at the Daytona 500, we lost Dale Earnhardt.
Oh.
We lost Dale Earnhardt. Okay?
Yeah, that was a big one.
So, if for a little bit of context, if you remember what you were doing around the time that Dale Earnhardt passed away, this is right around when this movie came out. It was already made, just didn't really have its release till a couple weeks later.
Gotcha.
So,
My shoes are filled.
very filled.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
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 Fantastic. So why don't you give me a synopsis of Ginger Snaps?
Okay, I'm going to give you a little synopsis here of the Ginger Snaps. So, we have a girl named Ginger, Avi, and she is sister. It's two girls. They're sisters. It's Bridget and Ginger. Ginger is the older sister, a little bit more of the protector, a little edgier. Bridget is a little bit more inward. They're both outcast. Both kind of, think new metal girls, like real emo scene girls right at 2000, all right? Think about, like, the music that was happening. We were been treated like shit. Yeah. That's what was going on, dog. She was, girls were finger blasting to Deftones. So that's a little reference of what was going on. And these girls definitely fit right in that scene, okay? And they're going through changes. And at the beginning of the movie, they're walking home. They're walking to their house, and Ginger gets attacked. And obviously, we know now it's a werewolf, but they do kind of lead it. It's really ambiguous. You don't know if it's just a big dog or what the fuck it is. But she gets attacked, and you're like, oh my god. And the scene goes on for a good minute or two. It's a pretty intense attack scene. Kind of reminded me of American Werewolf in London. If you can remember, he just kind of got dragged away a little bit. That's just what was happening. So they go back home, and she's already healing. Bridget's freaked out by Ginger. Ginger starts going through changes while her body is also going through puberty. So she's going through all kind of shit, and then she gets really attracted to boys. She just becomes feral, and she just wants to fuck boys and just eat everything and just go crazy. And people start winding up dead. Neighbor's dog, and then people. Fucking the girl at school that's picking on her winds up kilt. Teacher at school, kilt. Janitor, kilt. All of them. They're all gone. Mm-hmm. They're all gone. And for the longest, Bridget's trying to bring her sister back, but she's trying to cover her tracks a little bit because obviously she's got her sister's back, but eventually she realizes it's gone too far. Now she befriends this boy. What's his name? Sam. Sam is a little drug dealer. I think that's his name, right?
It's Sam or Jake.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
I don't remember what it was.
Sam. No, his name was Sam.
Sam.
So Sam's a drug dealer, but he's like a cool drug dealer. He's almost like a botanist kind of drug dealer, if that gives you a frame of mind here. He looks like a young John Mayer.
Looks like a young Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, so he's a handsome kid, right? Bridget kind of has a flame with him, and they got a thing going on. But with him being so good at botany, they start to work with this stuff. What's it, like Bane's Wolf or whatever the fuck it's called? I forget what they call the stuff. But
it's some kind of herbal plant.
Yeah, that can kill the werewolf.
Yes.
The lichen.
Mm-hmm.
So they make this. Obviously, one of the boys that Ginger fucks ends up becoming a werewolf, and they have to use him as an experiment, but they use him for this antidote, and it works. The boy turns back, so they try to cure Ginger. Bridget does, but it's too late. She's already fully transformed into a werewolf, and she hits her with the antidote, and she dies. She ain't make it. But she also stabbed her at the same time, so.
But isn't there second one?
There is.
And she's alive? I don't know. I saw her on the cover. I don't know.
We're not gonna get into that. Okay.
sorry.
The end of this movie,
Right.
she's dead.
Okay, my bad.
She's dead.
Yep. She done died.
She dies in her arms.
Aw.
But Bridget still got that werewolf blood in her.
Yep.
She still got that werewolf blood in her. So, to be continued. You don't, yeah. So, there's
Spoiler, it does. It does. Apparently, I've never seen
does.
him, but it does.
Now, Ginger is played by Catherine Isabel. Super fucking hot. She was also in Freddy vs. Jason. You remember her boyfriend gets stabbed in the bed, and then the bed gets bent up? Mm-hmm. She had the tig old bitties. That was her.
Yeah.
And she was in the movie.
Yeah.
Big fan of her.
Yeah.
Like the movies she does. Mm-hmm. Even the sister, I liked her. She did great. I thought she did great in that role. Real fucking awkward, but a good sister. Now, Mark, give me some initial thoughts here. What parts really stuck out to you? It sounds like you did enjoy the movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I liked their take on werewolf transformations. I liked the whole thing about it. It's a very dark movie, kind of. Everything's looking good with that. There are some things that I don't understand that they do in movies. Like, I just don't understand why they put that scene in, because it makes no sense to me. For example, now they're outside in gym class, right? And they're smoking cigarettes right there on the field, and the teacher's out there. Like, okay, how does nobody notice this? But whatever. Look past that.
It's 2000. They didn't care as much.
And the one thing I didn't understand was the first intense moment with Brittany, or Bridget, which one is
Bridget.
it? Bridget. With Bridget, she gets bullied by the girl who they end up killing later, but she, knocks her down into a dead dog on the field.
How did no one see that?
That's what I'm saying.
How did no one see that dog?
No, it was in the middle of the field. There's a dog that's decapitated, and still, even when she gets pushed into the dog, nobody acknowledges that there's a dead dog on the field.
Yeah, it was just blasé about it. Like, oh, yeah.
Like, it's normal that there are just dead dogs everywhere.
A little weird.
Okay, what the fuck?
A little weird.
But anyways, I liked the family interactions they had. I liked the dad. The dad was hilarious.
Yes, he was.
Just silent. Just like, I'm in here with three broads. This sucks. One's menstruating. One's crazy. The other one doesn't talk. But it's funny because he's on to them the whole time, and nobody pays attention to him, which is exactly how life goes for a male dad.
Ain't it the truth?
Yeah. It's
Ain't
like
it the truth?
they're up to something.
I can call this a million mile, whatever. Just run into the wall. I'll be here to be like, remember that time when I told you this was going to happen?
Yeah.
It happened. It's really funny. I said, there was a Barstool video on TikTok the other day, and I made a comment on it. I didn't realize I was one of the first to, but it was this dude who's a security guard for a museum, and he's lost his shit, and he's like, folks, it's not that hard. There's 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not that hard. And he's lost it. And he's probably right. And I said, dads are dads, even when their kids aren't around. And so many people so many people liked it, dude. It's because I know I'm not the only one out there who laughs at dad anger. Not like Chris Benoit dad anger. That's not cool. If you're getting beat up, that's not cool. But just your Beethoven level of God damn it. That's hilarious, bro. I can watch those freakouts all the time. Who moved my stuff? Oh, I can watch that all day. Yep. Give me, film that all day. And you're right.
I also liked how the transformation to a werewolf that Ginger go through is slow. Mm-hmm. So eventually she starts getting a tail, right? And eventually, you notice that her teeth are starting to get sharper. Mm-hmm. It's just little details like that which made it cool. She progressively gets worse and worse. It's just cool to watch that because it's a different take. Usually wolf transformations are just full moon and they just do one big transformation and then all of a sudden they're a wolf. This is this is a virus, a disease, which it really is, and it takes a while.
Yeah, I like that
too. I like that a lot. And just their interactions, because, I was a kid at that point and I've been through all that, you too, in the early 2000s and shit, so they knocked it pretty good on that time period, I think.
Oh,
of
absolutely.
how people act. So
absolutely,
that was good too.
Yeah, I told you too. When the movie we're covering, I said, "Oh, it's not that old," or I said it's a newer movie, and I was like, It's not really. It's like 23 years old, but like in my mind, like that made me feel old because it was like, I mean, we cover old movies and it's like not like a, you know, when, I don't know. But this was, I heard somebody say that like the 90s didn't end until September 11th. And like, I buy that. You know what I mean? Like 2000s were like after that moment, but the 90s, like it was still kind of the 90s at this time frame. Mm-hmm. We had Walkmans. There were Jinko jeans out there. We were doing our thing, dog. Like, we had, like, multiple layers of shirts on. Did you ever have one of those cool metal ball necklaces? I did. I
don't think I did.
I had the Fred Durst hat, you know. Been treated like shit. You know, I was out there, dog.
I still like Limp Bizkit.
I do,
care
too.
What people say.
Yeah, fuck everybody.
Yeah.
I love that nu metal's made, like, a resurgence because you had to, like, kind of hide that you liked nu metal for a little bit of time. I mean, not like when it came out, but like 10, 15 years later, Korn wasn't as cool to people. You got treated like the weird guy who worked at the gas station. And you're like, fuck off, man. I like Korn.
Oh, yeah.
I like Slipknot.
Anybody who's alive in our time period will get hyped to any Fred Durst or Korn when it comes on. It's just that inner party, your inner child. Because that's the music that sits with you. That's the music that sits with you for the rest of your life is when you're a teenager. The music that you listen to as a teenager, because that's when you feel the music the most, I believe. That will sit for you for the rest of your life.
You remember how much of an entitled little shit, you know, you are as a kid? You know, you're like, oh, I don't fuck with this band, I fuck with this band, because you just assumed there would always be new rock bands. Now, you can go back and listen to like a nu metal band, you're like, I didn't really like these guys that much back then, but there's nothing new to listen to, like, of that sound. Per se, of like a rock sound. Mm-hmm. There might be some rock, you know, there's a lot of dad rock out there still happening, and I'm sure there's some bands, but it's just not the scene that it once was. And we had so much new music, like a Cold Chamber. Give me a Cold Chamber. Give me a random ass band like that. All right, I'll take a fucking Evanescence. Just give us something like that. I'd go ape shit. Give us a rock band giving us new music.
So what about you? What are some of your best favorite parts of the movie here?
When he pissed blood, when that boy that she banged pissed blood, that part was hilarious. He was just like, yeah!
That's the reaction that any man should have if he's pissing blood. Like, not good. It's not good.
That was really funny to me. I really like that, even though I don't mean this in any kind of way, but there's a lot of girl interaction. This is a girl movie. Like, you know, it's almost like there's a lot of girl interaction, right? Which, not saying males can't like that. Ozark and I are sitting down here saying we like it. But what I loved about it is it did great at that, but it didn't shy away from fucking gore. Like, it wasn't like, there's a lot of gore. So there's like a lot of beauty and a lot of, you know, whatever. There's some vanity in there just paired with some just fucking gnarly gore and some cool transformation going on. I don't know. I just thought that was pretty badass.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is also right around the time that The Faculty came out. Like, you know, I get like a tad dash of that with the school and the... Mm-hmm. I don't know. That kind of bleeds through. But those parts really rang true to me.
The dad part cracked me up, too, is when they were getting into that scuffle with the girl that was bullying her. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Ginger drags her in the house and everything, but she slips and she, like, cracks her head open on the counter and starts bleeding all over the house. But the parents pull up right away. So they hide the body in the freezer, and then she just lays down the blood like they're taking their death pictures like they were saying. And they're like, yeah, she's like, it's corn syrup. You want some, Daddy? And he's just looking at it like, God damn it. Like, this is what I come home to.
God damn
kids. He just gives up.
I know. It's like, it is very funny that you look back and, like, you remember those moments as a kid where you're just doing some stupid ass shit and you just felt like it was so cool and your dad just hit you with that, like, I don't know what you're gonna be.
Yep.
Like, you're like, and you don't realize it until you get older and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
And they do. They hit you, like, they don't even have to say shit. They just hit you with that, like, maybe we should have another son. That's the conversation he has with your mom. Like, maybe we need one more. It's just like he's accepted. You're
Maybe
just-
this one will be an athlete.
Oh, dad disappointment's a real thing, dude.
It is. It's the worst thing. It's the worst thing.
They don't even gotta say much.
No.
I'm sorry. Mom, you could deal with that. You're like, Mom, chill out.
Oh yeah, moms are always gonna be disappointed, but they'll still love you no matter what. Like,
Yeah,
they'll be like, all right.
They love you with your disappointments.
Oh yeah.
Dad's got like a little bit of limits to that. Like, you did what? Can't even have fucking dinner.
Dumbass.
I'm eating my dinner in the dining room. You know, just like, I'm gonna check some emails. Great, Mark, you ruined dinner. It's so subtle. There's nothing. There's no. But it's ruined. Oh yeah, he that dad definitely displayed a lot of that in this movie. It's just those looks, and yeah, man, you can. He nailed it. And the mom was fun too, because like just always nurturing and kind of enabling to some
Yeah, and
degree.
when the mom like discovers the body of that girl that they hid in like the shed, and those fingers were, well, she saw the fingers and they were in the grass because they dropped 2 of her fingers. She picks them up. The dad finds it first. He's like, "See, look at this shit." Like, he thought they were real fingers, and she's like, "No, it's from their death project." And she knew right away, like, "Yep, these girls killed her." Then
Yeah.
she finds the body, so she gets Bridget, and she takes her, she's like, "All right, go get your sisters. Like, tomorrow I'll light a match and blow up the house." She's like, "What about Dad?" She's like, forget about him. Like, we're gonna start a new life. Like, that's the mom in her. Anybody's mom would do that.
Oh, they would, dude. They're not gonna like.
Yeah.
Now you know what my limit would be? If my kids killed their kids. That's it. You can't kill, because like, you know, your grandkids, like, even though like you love your kids, like like you just love your grandkids more, because you're like, I won't fuck up as much with these ones, and you're like, come here, and you could.
Oh yeah, you got grandkids. You spoil them like a motherfucker.
But that would be like the only way where I'd be like, you know what, you're dead to me. But like, aside from that, it could be some pretty gnarly shit. You know, it's just like, I'm in trouble, and you're like, all right, we're in this together, dude. But I think every parent kind of has that, you know, in them a little. But moms, for sure, they're going to work. They're going to work. Yeah, I thought this is a nice little timestamp from, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. The way they talked, the way they dressed, and really the pacing of the movie. It just was paced like one of those kind of movies. The end result, the end werewolf, is interesting too. It's its own look. You know, it was its own kind of thing. Thought that was kind of cool. Had her eyes, like the color of her eyes in the creature. Thought that was neat too. She fucked up that janitor.
Oh yeah.
Dude, she messed him up.
Fucked up everybody that was in her way, as a werewolf should do. And they made the werewolf intense. Mm-hmm. Like, this is no subtle, cheesy fighting. Like, no, like, this word fucking you up. Like, that's a word. It's like that to like a tiger mauling or something like that, as it should be. It's intense.
And you know, when her sister locked her in the bathroom, you're just like, yeah, that's not gonna work.
No.
It's a werewolf, dude.
Of course. And I like how the fact that they showed that you could kill a werewolf different ways. Like, the first werewolf got ran over.
Yeah.
Dead. This one, you know, you don't have to have just a silver bullet. Like, you could kill it with other methods.
Now that's a great hypothetical, Mark. Not in your like dream vehicle, but let's just say you're in the work truck, you're heading home, and that situation happens to you. Not like out of nowhere, just red mist all over your shit. You get out and you examine the ground of what you believe to be a werewolf. No people, you know, you didn't hit any people. There wasn't the girls, just the werewolf. Are you calling somebody? Are you doing something? Like, what are you doing? Like,
Dude, I don't know, because I'd be, first of all, I'd be pissed off that I hit something and shit's demolished. So that's going to be a pain in the ass. And then I'm just like, what the fuck is this thing? Like,
if it was still drivable, you know, and it's the work truck, maybe your fender's got like a, you know, a dent in it.
I don't know, dude. If it's something that looks like something out of this world, I gotta call somebody. Be like,
Yeah.
look, dude, this is a problem.
look here.
I don't know if there's more of these things. I don't know if this is Bigfoot. I don't know what the fuck this is, but somebody higher up and important needs to figure this out.
Old gypsy woman comes out of the woods. It's a chupacabra. Like, oh no. I'm getting out of here.
Yep, I'm out. I'm peaced out. No, thank you.
I'm hitting the car wash and I gotta go.
Oh, yeah.
We're never gonna think about this again.
100%.
We're just gonna drink this one off tonight and just never think about it.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you have to do that. But what we need to do right now is go through another portal to another realm, to another world, and figure out more things about this movie. Ginger Snaps. Yeah, welcome to the What Do You Know here. This is a segment here where we're to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie. Now, if this is your first time here, we're going to tell you things we know about this movie. Now, you may know what we know, you may not know what we know, but if you know what we know, you're going to have a we-know-gasm. If you don't know what we know, you better find out what we know, and you better have a we-know-gasm too. Everybody's going to be finger blasted, feeling good. Everybody's going to get a lot of friction in the underparts. It's going to be great. Everybody's going to have a we-know-gasm. If you never had a we-know-gasm before, it's going to be the best thing you ever did, and then you're going to go back to our old episodes, have a bunch of we-know-gasms, and your shit's going to be sore. So, I think it's your turn here to tell me something that you may or may not know about this movie. Ginger Snaps.
Now look here.
Yeah.
Now these two actresses here. These two
broads.
girls.
Yeah.
Yes. Now it took quite some time to find some actresses to play this movie because
It's in Canada.
Well, that's not too hard. It's cheaper to do that. But what the hard part was the content. Nobody wants to do these kind of roles, and this was right after Columbine, so it was a little bit rough, and it took a while to get casting.
Sure.
But they picked these two girls, and these two girls, Catherine Isabel and then Emily Perkins. These two girls. There's some crazy facts. They're a lot closer than they look like they're close on screen, but there's a reason. They was born in the same hospital, they went to the same school, had the same casting agent, worked for the same agency, the whole ordeal. And they've known each other for years, before they did this movie. So that's why they look so close.
Wow, that's some good chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might recognize Emily Perkins because she was in the It miniseries. She played a young Beverly Marsh, the girl in the Losers Club.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, good for her.
Yeah.
She's got quite a track record here.
Yeah, you know what's weird? She plays the younger sister in this movie, but she's 5 years older than Catherine Isabel.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Interesting indeed.
That's very
Now, why don't
interesting.
you tell me something pal?
Okay, so this director, his name is
John Fawcett.
John. Yeah, that's what I said. John Foster, right?
Fawcett.
What I say?
Fawcett.
Okay. John Fawcett. All right. This guy, he was so adamant about no CGI. He's like, look, there's gonna be no CGI in this movie. I don't like it. We're not doing that. We're gonna go the practical effects route, which is a great way to go. I mean,
call.
applaud this man, okay? Applaud this man. Somebody should give him sloppy for this thing. Not me, of course, because, I'm not that way. I don't play both sides of the field here, offense and defense, but, somebody who does.
That's a new award we need to give directors. You need to get, the Sloppy Award.
Yeah.
The Sloppy Toppy Award.
The Sloppy Toppy Award. That's a good one, all right? Instead, they did all practical effects, which it looked great to me. And for example, like if a shot came for a werewolf to be in there, that was a suit. That was a real fucking suit. That was a suit.
Oh, I like
Some
that.
guy had to get up in the wolf suit and fucking do it.
What a job.
Look at that. How do you get that gig?
I know. And they
Where's
probably
that
paid
on?
more than what we
Where's
make.
that on Indeed.com?
That makes a lot more than what we make, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know.
That's bullshit.
I'm over here busting my ass. I could go in there and just be in a wolf suit.
You'd be a perfect werewolf.
Thank you.
I think you'd do it good.
I'm pretty hairy, so I'd be good.
I could be a cool gangly creature. I mean, we're missing out here.
Yeah, I could do a bunch of things. I could do a bunch of things.
This is bullshit. You know, but these are good facts. I feel like not all the people know these Ginger Snaps facts.
Nah.
So, you know, they can go, you know, they can put that in their pocket.
Yeah, sucking on a chili dog.
Outside the Tasty Freeze.
Yeah, that's good.
That sounds like an Eric Cartman line, doesn't it? Sounds like something he would write.
Yeah,
like if you sing it in his voice, it works.
Probably.
Sucking on a chili dog. Outside the Tasty Freeze.
Why did he say that?
I don't know.
That makes no sense to me.
You know what? And what's crazy is he paired it with such a beautiful lyric. He says, "Life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone." Like that's a beautiful line. Like if you really examine it, that's a beautiful piece. But it's also layered in the same song that says "sucking on a chili dog outside the Tasty Freeze." So I mean. Is he a lyrical genius? Yes or no? I don't know. It's up for debate still all these years.
You know, I don't know. But what I do know is I have no more facts for this movie. Do you know any more facts about this movie?
No, I think that's it.
That's in fact, you know, two's all you need. You're satisfied. You're satisfied. You're satisfied. So we're gonna go now. Goodbye.
Welcome back to the show, boys and girls. This segment of the show will be brought to you by online sports betting and Tinder swipes. Now, we're having a good time down here. We're having fun. You know, we want to get plugs. Next episode, we hope that they reach out to us. You know, if we get big plugs like that, guys, you know, we might have to take them. You know, we get extra Tinder swipes and we get extra sports bets. We might have to take them. Sorry. It's just going to happen for us. Another thing, if any kind of gummy candy, you know, gummy sharks, I love those. If there's any kind of place that says, hey, we're going to plug it, that's where you have to be scared. It's stuff that we want. That's what would be fearful. Not energy drinks and meals that show up to your door. But if they start hitting us up and they're like, hey, man, I'm going to start giving you all these horror VHSs. Watch out.
Yep.
Or Legos.
Yeah, your lips are going to be chapped if that happens.
Mm-hmm. Or even Legos.
Yeah.
If you got paid in Legos, you could sell them and make a bunch of money.
I never was into Legos.
People pay a lot of money for those.
Do they do?
They're crazy.
I don't know.
They're crazy.
Why don't you build something else, like with wood?
With food.
Yeah, wood and nails, and build something useful. Than a fucking Lego toy.
Our friend Shane is really mad listening to this.
Learn how to change a toilet, you fuck. Do something else. Build a barn or something. Build a bar. Do something.
Our friend Shane is very mad listening at this.
Fucking building spaceships and shit.
They are cool. I do get the Legos.
Oh,
but
sure,
yes.
but I just don't have the patience, I don't have the patience.
You know what's interesting about horror VHSs, by the way?
What's that? Go ahead and tell me, please.
So, I think what's really neat about this time frame, you could find the VHS and the DVD. Okay, both released probably in the same year, or like right around each other, and that's really cool. I like that. Some movies fell into that category of DVD'd and VHS'd, and then like they'll surprise you because you'll see them on VHS and you're like, man, I could have swore that came out, but they still made it.
Yeah.
You know. Mm-hmm. It's just a weird time frame. I don't have this one on VHS, so if you see it out and about, you pick it up. You pick it up for me.
That'd be sweet.
Mm-hmm. I wish these girls worked the circuit more, like the convention circuit, because I don't ever see them. I'd get a picture with her, Freddy vs. Jason, and Ginger Snaps trilogy.
Yeah. I'd cop a feel and get kicked out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, me too.
Just like a swipe, you know what I mean? Not like a full-grown, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like a stress, I'm not talking about like a stress ball grab, just a little like swipe, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd get arrested.
Yeah.
They'd mace you.
That's okay.
I would say like he didn't mean
I feel like I'm confident I could at least get a good running start. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because we all know the security is not in shape.
I'll try to distract them. Hey guys, you want to see a magic show?
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, you know, my distraction. Exactly. They're not
It
gonna
distracted me.
Yeah.
Shit.
So we'll go up to them. Yeah, and we'll say hello. We liked your movies. Do you like us? That's a pretty, broad approach. That's how I usually ask most people.
That will work.
Robert Englund, I love your movies. Do you like me? And then you don't say anything after. You just look.
That's a good way of doing it. But yeah, this was a good pick, Mr. Christian Ramey. This definitely gets you in the Halloween mood.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely in the Halloween mood here.
And people do know about it, but it's not that talked about. Like
I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
But the good news is, if you've never seen it like me, and this is in your version to this too, it's on a lot of free platforms. It's on Tubi, Pluto, Peacock, Freevee. It's on all kinds of things, so you got access to it.
Oh, yeah.
And I would recommend to watch. I think it's pretty good.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm happy that we're doing it now, but this movie could have been talked about like a year ago. Like it's of that caliber. It felt, obviously it's around Halloween time too when this flick is going on. So on top of the cool creature feature, it's the reason for the season. You know about that.
And please believe it.
It compelled you to rhyme, but it happens from time to time. But I don't know. I'm kind of losing my mind. Anyways, what is it that you says?
What? Huh? What?
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 Mark, I went to a wrestling show.
Yeah, how was that?
It was really good. It was that Fast Lane, WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Joe took me. He's like, look, I'm going to buy tickets. I'm going to take you. I was like, all right, I'm not going to say no to that. So we went. We had a fucking blast. Wrestling's coming back. They got some good stuff. All right. It was lulling there for COVID times, but
I feel like wrestling would be a fun thing to go to live.
Oh, it's
like
so fun.
watching on TV, like no, but yeah, I mean, as long as you take it for what it is, like sure, it's a little entertainment. Guys are flying around. Obviously, it's not real fighting. If you want to see real fighting, go to a boxing match or a UFC fight.
Mm-hmm.
Same fucking thing.
I just like watching people go through tables and that stuff. It's fun.
Oh yeah, it's like
fun.
a stunt show.
Oh yeah,
It's a stunt show.
But it's like NASCAR. You are correct. To go to one, to be in person, you're like, this is a blast, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So I was happy I got to do that inside of my October. But it wasn't necessarily spooky related. But one thing I will give wrestling is wrestling and scary shit have always paired up. There's always been like scary wrestlers and stuff. So that's kind of cool. It's The Undertaker, dude. He scared people. Kane, he scared me.
The Kane.
When he, remember, my name is Kane. That was scary, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That was scary. So, I don't know exactly everything you guys are doing to get in the mood, but go throw on some Kane highlights, bro. Did you watch his little movie series, that See No Evils? We'll have to cover those one time. Those are pretty good.
No, I remember those when those came out, though. I remember it. I can picture the cover and everything. So
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I'm sure they're pretty good. They'll eventually make it to the circuit here. There's no way they can't.
Just like Ginger Snaps, it knows that it's a B movie and it treats it like it, man. Even though there's technically a sequel and a prequel to this flick.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy movies that don't take themselves too serious.
Right.
And horror used to be that way. They weren't always swinging for the fences. We were spoiled when we were younger with new metal and horror movies. And now we're old and we got remakes and I don't know, Taylor Swift. I don't know. That's just what's happening.
Yeah, it's all right. It'll go away eventually like everything else does. So, why don't we go through the portal here to the one and only one of a kind Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get this out the way.
Sloppy Horror Rating, baby, yeah!
Well, all right. Welcome to it. I imagine that portal is something like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when he went through that scary-ass tunnel. That's what it's like when you go to the one and only one of a kind Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Now, if this is your first time here, this is a horror movie ranking system developed by the one and only Christian Ramey, your favorite scary movie companion. It's based on a movie scale for horror movies, not a movie scale for a generalized movie. So please keep that in mind when you get the score. Now, a low score don't mean it's bad. High score don't mean it's good. The score just dictates what kind of movie you are in the mood for. You might be in the mood for a 3.5 movie. You might be in the mood for a 10, a 9, an 8. It doesn't matter, but it fits your mood of what you're going on to. That's why this is a foolproof fucking system. Now, if you're not familiar with it, I'll tell you what we're going to do. This is going to be done in a series of 4 categories. 3 categories worth 3 points. Last category is worth 1 point for a total of
10 points altogether.
Right. So, why don't we get into the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
Pretty strong. Pretty strong. I mean, these are good actors. This is Screaming 2 all day to me. Not like over the top, like crazy, this isn't The Exorcist with casting kind of deal. It's not like acting. This isn't The Exorcist 3, even. It's like, I don't know. Certain movies just, they blow you back with their acting. Because this is kind of the acting as well. And how the people gel. But this is more than a campy movie. These are great actors. They do well together. But it's Screaming 2 to me. Do you agree, or?
Yeah, I think everybody fits in the movie well. I think they casted it very well for exactly what it is. We don't have any too big of superstar names here to water it down like that. I think everybody did their job good, from the janitor to Ginger to Brittany to the dad to the
Bridget.
mom. Whatever. What do I keep saying?
Brittany.
That's easily mix-upable. Mm-hmm. If you met a Brittany and a Bridget in one night, you would mix up their fucking names.
Probably.
There's too many similar letters in there.
Mm-hmm. I don't even call them by the name. You just give them nicknames, and they think they're...
Okay, what's her name again?
Bridget.
Okay, Bridget. Bridget the Idget. All right. So that's 2 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the second category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is kills.
Kills. Feeling like a 1.5 here. Like, it's like right in the middle. I mean, they're pretty brutal, but it's like werewolf attacks. That's like, or one gets hit by a car. I don't know. What are you thinking?
We got a werewolf getting hit by a car.
Mm-hmm.
We got multiple werewolf maulings. We got a girl banging her head on the edge of the counter. They're not very, very detailed.
No, and we get a lot of aftermath shots. So
yeah,
I'd
say a 1.
A 1.
I'd say a 1.
1. Okay.
I'd say a 1 just because it is a lot of aftermath shots.
Okay. I dig that.
And they're very subtle. There's nothing that will make you like cringe or nothing like that. They're very subtle deaths. They're almost like TV deaths on the edge of your side. And there's not a lot of variety with that. They're still good. I mean, they definitely
deliver.
They deliver, and they fit the movie well. There's some are intense, but I mean, you don't get much visual,
Yeah.
So we'll go with a 1 there. So it's 3 out of 10 so far here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the third, final 3-point category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
It's not really scary. But it being a creature, I almost want to give it like a 1. But it's either half a point or a 1. It's not terrifying. So I don't know. It's not absolutely terrifying, but there's werewolves. There's some frightening scenes. I don't know. It could freak some people out.
It's just kind of suspenseful.
But the thing is, it's not as scary because there's like a romance to the girls because you like the girls. Like, you kind of like have grown with them in the movie, so you're not like, you know who they are. And like, you almost like, you don't know if you want her to die or not. Like, you're like, if it was just a random werewolf, like meeting the dude on the subway, an American werewolf, you're like, oh my God, what the fuck? Kill that thing.
Yeah.
But
sorry, excuse me. Probably a 0.5, man. Really.
0.5, yeah.
0.5.
Sounds sexy.
It's a great story, though. It's a great story, but there's not a lot of fear in it. So it's 3.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get to the final 1-point category for half a point each here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is rewatchability. Yeah.
It is. It's a really rewatchable movie. I mean, excuse the the horrible phrasing of it. It's a cute movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's a Halloween movie. I kind of pair this like with like Trick or Treat. You know, I fit it in there. Like, it's fun. Trick or Treat was a little brutal, had Sam, but like you got some girls around. You trying to watch some Halloween flicks. Throw this on. Throw The Craft on. Throw Trick or Treat on. You're having a fun night.
Sure.
You're having a fun night.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll definitely watch this movie again when the time comes around. It's a great story. Great story. I think it was done well. You know, definitely watch it a second time, third time, see things you missed. But I got sucked into it. So when I usually get sucked into a movie, pay attention to a movie, it's definitely rewatchable to me. So that is a total of 4.5 out of 10 for Ginger Snaps here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast. Right back up in your ass. Right up in your cornhole.
That's a good score.
That's a good score.
That's a really good score. Man.
I think it fits it well.
I do too, dude.
I think it fits it well.
Man, we got trick-or-treating coming up. All right, there's going to be people with children. We need to do it. We need to do service to the people and the children out there, Mark. It's time for the other segment.
I missed you, mister.
Mr. Rollsock. Tell him if they're old enough. How old? To watch that scary stuff. Shits for the parents who give up.
I'm sorry. I just, I have to bring you here sometimes because this one, I didn't really think about that until now, but I don't know where to classify the rating for this movie, Mark. If you're new to this segment, this is the Ozark Mark parental guidance, and what Mark does is he likes to give you an age for what he thinks is appropriate for the kid to watch. Now, don't take us to court over this. It's just a question we tend to get a lot. Can kids watch this movie, or what are some good movies for kids? So if we rate some ones that are kind of ambiguous, I like to ask Mark these questions. Now, Mark, when we've got Ginger Snaps on the table here, what are we thinking? Is this a kid's movie? Is this a teenager's movie? Is this a adult only?
Yeah, it's on the borderline between a kid and a teenager movie, around that spectrum. There's not nudity. There's not intense killings. There's not intense jump scares. There's,
just like makeouts.
I don't know, though, if you show it to, depending on how low you go, how interested they would in it, because there's not a lot of action for kids these days. But, they could definitely get by on it. 10. We'll go 10. 10.
Yeah.
Once you hit the double digits.
You're ready for the Ginger Snaps.
Because you'll start understanding everything going in there. There's a little bit of drug use, but, it's
some of those things might go over your head.
It's just weed.
Yeah.
Be like, they're smoking tobacco in there, whatever.
Yeah, tell them it's weed. Who cares?
It's a 10-year-old movie. Then again, it's a 0.5 on fear. Unless some kid is definitely scared of werewolves. I don't want to go with that. I'd probably go with 10 there. 10.
That's a great. What was the score of this movie? 4.5?
4.5.
So we got 4.5 on the score for Ginger Snaps. We've got an age of 10 years old. I like this. I love this. I'm a big fan of this. Now, I know the cool part, you guys are listening to us right now, and if you've made it this far into the episode, I want to tell you, man, this being the only podcast that's named after your sister, we thought that we wouldn't be doing you justice if we watered it down with advertisements, and that's not what we do. And you've made it through this whole fucking show without any plugs, without any ads, because that's not how we get down. But what we do like to do is we like to put bonus episodes on our Patreon. We like to sell merchandise, and that's how you can help out the show. So if these are things that you'd like to do, be sure to check those out. There's descriptions in our bio, and all of our videos and everywhere. You can find these things quite easily. And another way that you can support the show completely for free, all my audio listeners, if you're listening on an app right now like Spotify or Apple Podcast, it takes 2 seconds to rate this bitch with 5 stars. We appreciate it so much. And obviously, if you're a YouTube watcher, if you're new here, welcome. We appreciate you. We know a lot of new people came in for that Michael Myers movie, the Halloween 4. Welcome. Make sure that you guys give us a follow, and that way you guys won't miss any of our new episodes. And that would mean the world to us. It's a big deal. All right? It's a big deal. when I look at my phone, when I'm sitting around the fire listening to Creed, and I see that you guys are following us, it makes me happy. Mark, you been listening to Creed lately?
What happened?
You been listening to
Are
Creed?
you done with the spiel?
Yeah, you been listening
okay.
to Creed?
No.
All right. You remember sitting around a fire listening to Creed?
No, I hate Creed. I hate that dude's voice.
Should have been there on Sunday
Yeah,
morning.
I hate that dude's voice. I don't like that voice. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
You're
And that
missing
doesn't
out.
mean it's bad. I don't care. If it plays somewhere, I don't mind it. But I'm not going to be pushing play on any Creed anytime soon.
I hope you find a love for Creed in your life. I hope you find it.
Okay. Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. But hey, whatever.
That's all right.
Whatever.
Do you sleep with socks on?
No.
Okay.
Fuck that.
Some people do.
That's no. No.
What are you wearing to sleep?
Nothing.
All right, just naked?
Yeah, I got satin sheets, baby.
All right.
I love it's good because it slides on your balls. It's
Slide
very
off
comfortable
your satin sheets.
on your fucking body if you sleep naked in satin sheets. It makes you feel cooler. Okay. It
I haven't
feels
done
good.
it with satin. Sometimes I'm
Dude,
naked.
have a long day, all right? Go home, get naked, lay on your satin sheets. They're nice and cool. You're sliding around. It's good. Yeah, I don't wear anything when I sleep. So
It
I feel
depends.
bad if anybody ever infiltrates my home. I feel bad because you are going to get shot by a naked dude.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I could fall asleep in jeans if I'm like.
Dude, how do you do that? That's so uncomfortable.
Like I don't do it on purpose, but I'm saying it's happened
Every
many
time,
times.
every time I pass out in jeans, I regret it. It's horrible. It's so bad.
Stay in one position.
It's horrible. It's bad. It's fucking bad. I don't sleep in underwear because I get tangled. I don't do it. I can sleep in shorts.
It depends how
That's
cold
it.
it is. Like sometimes it's cold, and I might wear sweatpants.
Dude,
and
I
that's
wear a
it.
robe sometimes.
Ooh, Tony
Yeah.
Soprano.
Yeah, dude, fall asleep in the wintertime when your house is cold, turn a fan on, sleep in a robe. Sleep
Ah.
naked in a robe. Oh yeah. And you got your lady there, make her wear a robe. You ever get freaky with two robes on?
No.
It's fucking fantastic.
I got a lot of
It's
kids. I'm
fantastic.
afraid to wear a robe around here. I don't want to be flopping dick out, you know.
What are you talking about? Our dads did it. Don't matter.
That's true. It's true.
Okay. Have a little session with your woman. Both of you have robes on. You'll feel comfy and you'll feel comfortable. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Try it. It's fun.
All right.
It's
all right.
fun. Now, you might get a little sweaty depending on how intense you get, but whatever, dude. Then you take off the robe after it's done, you get that breeze of cool air.
Nah,
It's
here's
and then
what-
you go to the fridge, and then you stand naked in the fridge with your sweat.
I'm coming up with ideas, though. I'm thinking, like, you can wrap yours around her and then tie it, and she can't go anywhere.
Absolutely.
Now, that's
I'm
fun.
telling you, there's
that's
a lot.
fun game.
There's a lot of there's a lot of possibilities with the robe boning. So get yourself a robe.
Yeah. No need for cleanup. We're wearing a towel.
See what I mean? You see what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, man.
These are all wins.
Exactly.
These are all wins.
They are wins.
What have I been doing with my life?
Dude, you've been doing it wrong, but you luckily Uncle Ozark's here to tell you how to do it right.
I'm gonna order one on Amazon.
Dude, fuck that. Go to Bath and Body Works. Get one now. Don't wait.
Okay.
You don't want that box smell anyway.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
true.
that. So, what's the next clue for next week?
Well, you're not gonna find any horror movie out there that's gonna top this movie at the box office. You're not gonna find any horror movie out there that tops this one at the box office.
Yeah, don't know.
So, it'd be pretty easy.
Well, it should
them
be.
to
Apparently
search.
not for me.
All they gotta do is search
Well, yeah.
box office numbers for horror movies.
Google it.
And if there's nothing that can beat that movie.
Well, then it must be a big one.
Yeah, it's a newer one.
It's a newer one.
Yeah, it's a newer one, and it is finally, I don't want to say a remake because the original was a miniseries.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. I know it now. Mm-hmm. I know it now. And if that means if I know it, most of you motherfuckers probably know it too. Because if I know it and you don't know it, that's a problem.
They're probably stumped. They're like, what the fuck is it?
There's no way.
He's fucking with us, dude.
There's no way. No fucking way. Well, that is exciting. Now that you got a clue for next week to get you in prepared for when the next episode comes out, you got a movie to fuck around with until next episode comes out. Everybody's in good terms here. We're doing great. Everything's going well.
That is good. Well, folks, I hope you're getting your spooky on. I hope you're baking pumpkin seeds, and I hope y'all are going out there with your little youngins, your itty bitties, and you're walking around a pumpkin patch, and y'all's got you them, I know my lady sure does like them pumpkin drinks and all them little pumpkin flavored things she gets from the store, and we get all kinds of decorative
Look, dude,
pumpkins.
I like pumpkin pie. That's about it. Pumpkin spice is nasty.
I eat pumpkin whatevs, okay?
Pumpkin spice is nasty. I'm sorry, it ruins it.
I like it. I like it. I like pumpkin spice. I like pumpkin bread. Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin bread's good.
Oh, that's good as fuck.
What's the pumpkin roll? Pumpkin roll's good as shit, too.
They roll it up like a Swiss cake
Yeah.
roll.
Oh,
Dude.
my God, dude. I will demolish half of it easily.
Yeah, cut me some
Easily.
little slices off
To
that
fuck the
bad boy.
slice, dude. Just give me a chunker. Give me a big piece of the roll.
I'm gonna get you that for your birthday. I'm
Do
gonna
it.
get you a big a roll.
Do it. I mean, it'd be in April. It might not be
You like
available.
You like carrot cake?
No.
Oh, I like carrot cake.
You're fucking a monster. Okay. Well, that's it for us, boys and girls. We got to go. We're out of time, but we love you. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.